Okay, we got to darker music. Okay. What?
I'll kill her.
What? You motherfucking cunt!
Smart filly. Maybe you are the one I've been searching for a long time.
It's a light of the end of the sunset.
Celestia backed away from Sunset, allowing the unicorn to breathe normally. Not feeling so constricted anymore, Sunset took in deep breaths, wiping the sweat from her brow.
Why would you do that, Sunset?
Celestia's demeanor hadn't changed the slightest.
Unless it's confused me, this is actually the good ending, and not the bad ending.
Sunset was relieved at.
So, how do you propose I kill Twilight?
Why would I kill her?
Sunset asked.
Oh, my dear Sunset. You're the smartest pony I know. I'm sure you can figure something out.
Why just buck each other?
Celestia
Man,
assured,
sounds so suggestive.
Coliseum. Sunset merely stood, contemplating on what she had just agreed to do to save her own skin.
Why though?
Positive,
why?
She still had Celestia's trust, and wasn't in a scenario where she had only two choices to decide anymore. So much had just happened too fast for her to comprehend.
Yeah.
And Celestia was leaving it in her hooves to do the deed.
I thought that for the part of Celestia looks like a fucking pussy.
Task. But she literally had no other choice. It was up to her now to decide whether or not to agree with Celestia. Now aware of who she really was behind the facade of a motherly princess.
Now you gotta keep that secret away from Twilight now.
Equally. She knew she had much to think about, so she took her leave, while her mind conflicted itself on what had just happened.
Why? Why? Is that heartbeats? What does it mean? Ooh. That bass.
Much had happened in the following weeks after the incident in the Coliseum. Twilight had been harassed with questions on what exactly had happened in that moment of saving her.
There's a lot of questions that yet to be answered, though.
And the truth was that she had no idea. Only that it had earned her cutie mark, and as Celestia had stated, her full potential had been unlocked. But Twilight had not realized it yet.
No?
Exactly what Celestia had wanted. Sunset had kept her mouth shut on anything Celestia had revealed.
Why no? Celestia is a cold-blooded fucking killer!
All she had been focusing on was a way to do the deed that she had been tasked with, without any suspicion from Twilight.
How would you kill Twilight now?
A spell that if cast, kills the host. A spell that had been buried away in history for good reason. Used mainly for killing imprisoned ponies without any sort of trace.
Is it Abracadabra spell?
Murder, but a suicide.
Is it green light?
Had allowed her to learn the spell, considering the spell was only available in dark necromancy literature, stored away in the
necromancy
of
That's used in Harry Potter.
The spell
yes, another Harry Potter reference. And Twilight falls down.
Was in a way of forcing the pony that was the target to
like she already knows that her days are numbered.
Translated to death's grasp. Upon speaking the words, the pony would die instantly. No blood, no sign of struggle, no evidence.
Abracadabra spell
very dark.
Confirmed. And Twilight falls down again. Seriously, Twilight, stay put.
Sunset didn't want to know what else lay in those
seriously, man?
For one to even possess the power to force death upon some pony was enough to make her shudder, because that was what she planned to make Twilight do. She had scheduled the lesson, and the day had come. Upon opening her eyes that morning, she felt an unsettling
what is Sunset's plan?
Of her stomach. And it only grew more unsettling.
The way of sunset?
Herself freshened up to meet Celestia for breakfast. She had been under tight security by Celestia's guards, showing that she didn't have Celestia's full trust, given how she had reacted on that day 2 weeks ago. She couldn't go anywhere or do anything without
why'd you have to agree to her, man?
Aside from personal tasks, such as bathing, using the bathroom, dressing, or sleeping. She had considered casting
what about studying?
Herself, but knew that doing so would accomplish nothing, seeing
No.
Celestia would just do the task herself, and given the facts that she had murdered her own sister for royalty, Sunset had no doubt in her mind that would be the end.
I know that
scenario.
artwork, actually. It's like those
With
pendant
the sickness
things.
plaguing her entire mind, she opened the door to her room, 2 guards meeting her on the adjacent sides.
That's
in
one big room,
black
though.
armor. Like every morning, she made her way to the same dining room, taking a seat in the same seat as usual.
Same seat.
Across from her was the same alabaster alicorn that she saw every morning.
Twilight
always
Sparkle.
hidden behind the morning paper.
Paper?
Taking in her seat,
Or is that
Sunset pulled the chair closer
Celestia?
to the table. Celestia was the first to make conversation.
You seem tense, Sunset. Are you having second thoughts on the task of which you've been assigned?
Celestia acknowledged. Sunset gulped, then answered with the partial truth.
No, it's just...
Celestia lowered the newspaper from her irises, revealing her face.
Oh?
The same one she always wore in the mornings they met up.
Just what?
Just what?
Celestia questioned, a hint of indignance in her tone.
Well,
I've what?
I've
I've what?
never killed a pony.
Oh?
Even if the death is,
Instant.
you know, quick and painless. I just don't know if I'm
Pancakes?
capable of something so grim.
Grim.
Sunset confessed.
No, it's not the Grim from Harry Potter.
Celestia lowered the newspaper onto the surface of the table, her golden aura dimming away slowly.
Look at it this way, Sunset.
Oh?
It's either you or her.
What?
Sunset shivered at that statement, knowing Celestia was being blunt. Yet she still held her usual
She's
motherly
technically
tone,
not a knife,
which
though.
disturbed Sunset even more.
And she likes
Celestia
coffee.
truly was heartless.
Now, you'd best be off to your lesson.
And
You
kill
wouldn't
her.
want to be late now, would you?
Would you? No. That's one.
Celestia stated, holding
She's using her
Celestia's
wings.
tone.
She's using her wings
That
as
comment
her
came
hands
as
again.
sarcastic, and Sunset didn't even hesitate on objecting to the matter. She just grabbed her things, got down off her chair,
And
carried on out to the Canterlot courtyard, where in the distance she could see a lavender-coated filly awaiting her arrival.
that's Twilight
A
Sparkle.
sight that made her stomach turn and nearly hurl out the excrement.
Oh.
She didn't, and instead made her way to where Twilight stood in wait. A smile
How would you
upon
get it-
Filly's face.
How you gonna kill her? How you gonna
Yet
kill her?
another sight that made her nearly
Oh, it's like a
vomit.
spell, isn't it? The Abracadabra
With her
spell.
approach, she was greeted.
That's one spooky music, though. Morning!
Twilight greeted with joy. Sunset attempted to compose herself, suppressing the shakiness in her voice as much
Smile.
as her hopes.
She's actually nervous there.
Good morning,
Suns.
Twilight.
Good morning.
Her attempts had failed, considering Twilight's face falling to a look of concern.
Sunset, eat a bacon.
You okay?
Eat. No, she's
Sunset
not.
attempted yet
Get
again
her to eat a
calm herself,
bacon.
but as soon as she remembered the reasoning for being there, the attempts
Oh,
faltered
dear.
from ice to fire.
Twilight's a filly again?
Yeah, just a little
I thought she's grown up a bit.
chilly. That's right, chilly.
Liar.
Another fell.
Liar, liar.
Cold,
Cutie mark on
or a
fire.
content temperature that was neither too hot or cold,
Flank on fire or something.
and immediately raised an eyebrow.
What? Really?
Sunset, what's wrong?
What's wrong, Sunset?
Twilight questioned yet again, worry staining her tone. The urge
You
to
find
vomit
out soon
once
enough,
again
Twilight.
enveloped Sunset like a blanket to a
I know.
foot on a
You're gonna
cold
kill a
night.
filly?
It
Oh,
was nearly
God.
unbearable.
Murder.
Still, the vital
Assisted
contents
murder,
slipping up
technically.
her esophagus like a serpent. She quickly swallowed it back down, trying to break any eye contact with Twilight.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Let's
Liar.
get on to the lesson.
What
Sunset
lesson we gonna?
said in a
What
panic.
lesson? What lesson we gonna learn
Twilight
now?
remained in a worrisome manner, but agreed nonetheless. Sunset was relieved that Twilight had just agreed rather than
That's an
questioning
awkward
further,
smile, though.
and with as steady a pace as she could go, moved on to teaching Twilight what would be her demise.
Oh, yeah.
Considering how advanced you are in simple spells,
Simple spells.
today we're going to be learning something of a higher magnitude.
Earthquakes.
Twilight immediately grew curious, just continuing to listen to Sunset's instructions.
Now, don't worry. It won't be anything difficult. It's a relatively simple spell, but definitely has more advanced elements compared to things like levitation and transfiguration. Today, you'll be learning how to control others with magic.
Twilight winced immediately, taken aback by what Sunset had just said.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds dark.
It is dark.
Sure I want to know how to control another pony. That just sounds like necromancy.
It is necromancy. Or is it,
In her mind.
is it a perio?
Magic than she had originally thought prior to this.
It's a perio where you control
She thought quick on how
others.
to convince Twilight that the spell wasn't dark magic, but it was kinda hard not to think it was.
Yes, it was
With
hard.
controlling others as the main effect of the spell, how could it not sound like necromancy? This seemed like something along the lines of something King Sombra or even Grogar, masters of necromancy, would even think of performing.
Oh, buckets.
Oh, come on!
Don't worry.
Thank you for you both for
This
that.
form of magic isn't like puppetry, but more like a silly magic where the victim gets pranked. It's nothing sinister, just a spell for fun.
A spell for
Twilight's
fun.
glare didn't seem to change.
It's not fun what you're doing in Sunset.
I don't know.
Twilight said unsurely. Sunset had no choice. If she couldn't convince Twilight, then she just had to use her ace in the hole.
Come on, Twilight. We're friends, right? Would I teach you anything that would get you in trouble? Or anything
yeah.
that you wouldn't be comfortable with?
The ace worked. Twilight's face changed to a more assuring one.
Oh. Sure.
Alright, Sunset. I trust you.
I don't trust her!
Twilight replied. Relieved, Sunset proceeded forward, her stomach knot growing tighter and tighter.
And tighter and tighter.
It was time to perform the spell.
Oh god.
Alright. I'll
Let's
do
go.
a demonstration with you as the spell's target first.
Oh.
Then you can try.
Sunset proposed.
But the thing is,
feeling like she was going to
it's
faint,
Sunset.
and her
No, but
blood
it's
iced.
Twilight's going to do the spell. Wouldn't that
She
kill
leaned forward with the same
Sunset?
light blue magic aura and focused on the filly in front of her, feeling the spell take its grasp on the lavender unicorn. Almost immediately, Twilight started to object, feeling her limbs seize and all control.
That's a good
over her body
aura
going
effect. It
away.
reminds me of
Ember of a fire.
reminds me of
Sunset, stop the spell! It hurts!
it. Oh god.
Twilight objected painfully. Sunset ignored Twilight's pleas, trying
Why?
to focus less on her best friend's pleas for mercy and more
It's
on saving
hurting her!
from Celestia's wrath. She could feel the grasp of the spell on Twilight at full control, and now all she had to do was make her mutter the two words.
Abracadabra.
Sunset, please stop! It burns! Please stop!
I'm so sorry, Twilight. Your days are numbered.
Just make her say the words. Just make her say the words. She
Why?
doesn't feel anything. It'll all be over in seconds. Just make her say the words.
How?
Please stop!
What?
Something immediately clicked in Sunset's head, and tears had begun to leak from her eyes. She couldn't do it.
Oh!
In that moment, it all came to the surface. Her fear had caused her mindset to be fogged by the truth of what would follow the action. If she killed Twilight, she
You'd
would
be killed.
nothing but a selfish murderer. A mare that killed
Yes!
her own
I didn't say murderer, didn't
to
I?
save her own skin. she would be no better than Celestia was, and would only be a monster, just like her. She refused to become the monster that had fooled and manipulated her into doing this heinous act.
That means you won't come as a Raimi She demon.
She fell to the ground in tears, releasing the spell and freeing Twilight from the pain.
Aww.
She didn't care about what Celestia would do to her, and refused to kill her best friend over a promise of...
Is this a good ending or bad ending? I just say this, it's like, the good is bad and bad is good or something.
Fall to murder to save her own skin. Twilight recuperated from the spell, and quickly objected to Sunset's actions.
Oh. Sunset?
About?
Yes!
It felt as if I was being suffocated.
Twilight protested. Sunset only hung
Say
her head,
sorry.
Twilight to
Say
forget
sorry,
what
Sunset.
she just did.
What is wrong with you today? You've been acting strange since you got here, and I highly doubt that was an unintentional mistake.
Oh gosh, he knows.
Twilight continuously yelled. Sunset was caught, and with nowhere else to go, she just told the truth.
Well done! Applejacking you!
Twilight.
She started.
Oh.
That wasn't a mistake.
No?
It was a dark spell that was outlawed centuries ago.
Yes,
This
it was.
all a setup to kill you.
By Celestia.
Twilight stepped back, her face as pale as a ghost.
What?
She replied with hurt in her voice.
Why?
I had no choice.
You're forced into
Listen
it.
to me, and I'm serious this time.
Sunset pleaded.
Why should I listen to you when you outright lied to me and tried to kill me?
Twilight shot.
She does have a point, Sunset.
Sunset couldn't object.
No.
Twilight had a point.
Oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Then she remembered a particular spell.
Fine. But please give me one chance to explain myself.
Yes,
And to
please
prove
do.
I'm not lying. Cast that truth spell that I taught you. Then you'll know I'm not feeding you lies. I only ask this one favor. Then you don't ever have to speak, look at, or even trust me ever again.
Twilight hesitated for a moment.
Reminds me of
but then with a frown
trying
at
to
the
believe
center of her horn,
Sirius
Sunset
Black.
was met with two words.
One chance.
One chance.
Twilight stated bluntly. Sunset didn't waste any time and spilled every detail about everything that she had found out that day in the Coliseum.
Oh god.
She
Yeah.
explained Celestia's true colors, the proposition she had ended up in, and anything else she found she needed to explain to win back Twilight's trust. The way the spell worked was that if any pony under the spell spoke a lie, the caster's horn would flicker, and not once during the entire explanation did Twilight's horn flicker like a candle in the wind.
She said the truth.
Twilight was completely shocked at the truth and immediately resorted to hugging Sunset.
Aww.
Now
That's like,
aware
that is a
she had
cute
only
picture.
resorted to the result
That
of
is a
killing
cute
her
picture. I like
out of
that.
fear for her own life. Sunset was relieved,
Kind
but
of
at
trip.
the same time,
You
was
kind of tripped me
lost
there,
what
Sparrow.
came next.
Man.
All she did know was that she refused to let Twilight fall victim to that witch of a princess.
You gonna kill her?
I'm scared, Sunset. What
I'm
do I do
scared.
now? I'm only a filly and no match for Princess Celestia.
No, you
Twilight
are.
stated carefully.
Twilight. I mean,
I know
Sunset.
Twilight. But trust me when I say that I'm going to make things right.
Yes.
Sunset stated with indignance.
You do something right.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna kill Celestia.
Twilight asked, a pinch of curiosity in her tone.
That's not your concern, Twilight.
You gonna
All
kill
I
your?
ask is that you remember me for who I was.
You gonna kill her?
Not for what I
You gonna
did
kill
today.
yourself? You
Sunset
got-
stated directly.
You gonna let Celestia kill you?
Sunset, what are you going to do?
She's gonna die.
Twilight asked, slight sadness filling her voice. Sunset didn't answer, dodging Twilight's questions and pleas, knowing what she had to do to keep Twilight and Equestria safe.
Safer from the monster.
Twilight.
Oh.
Sunset stated proudly, a glint of tears forming in her tear ducts.
It was an honor being your teacher
Aww.
and friend.
Oh. Well done.
A sudden flash of magical light followed, and Twilight immediately knew where Sunset had teleported to, as much as what she planned to do.
Kill herself. She set the spell on herself.
A flash of light blue light emblazoned Celestia's irises, her protege standing before her with an indignant stance in the elongated throne room.
That was quick. That is, if you...
Celestia was quickly silenced as Sunset seized
Oh, she looks pissed.
body with the spell
She looks peeved.
used to kill Twilight, fire burning in her eyes. Celestia didn't have a chance to block the magic, and she was unguarded at the moment, so no pony could stop her from ending the life of a mass killer who had ruled over Equestria for far too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're gonna get killed.
Rejected.
What I should have done long ago. You should have stuck to your original teaching ways, Princess.
Yes.
If I never learned this spell, this wouldn't be happening.
You teach Sunset the
Celestia
weapon to
struggled
kill
break
yourself.
free of the hold of the spell, but having no control
Celestia
over
is
herself,
Voldemort in a
she
way.
couldn't break free of the spell's grasp.
I realized it in the moment I nearly killed Twilight. I realized that you had led me to becoming no better than what you were, a monster.
A monster.
Now I see
A
you
raiding
as
she-monster.
me, using your control over me as a way to manipulate my mind. You underestimated my ability to see past all the corruption that you plagued my mind with. And now, it will be your undoing.
I'm gonna finish you.
Fool! If you kill me, you'll be no better than me!
It's not about power.
Mention that you'll end up in prison for my murder. So foolish, Sunset, thinking you could ever get the upper hoof on me. Me! The one who taught you everything. The one who changed you from an outcast to one of the most trusted...
Shut the fuck up!
You are nothing without me!
Sunset only responded with a smile and look of confidence as she spoke her final words to the matriarch.
Go on, say it.
You're right. Which is why I won't be the one to carry on your madness. Even if it costs me my own life, Equestria will be ridden of some pony's reign that has lasted for far too long.
She's actually like Harry Potter bit in the Forbidden Forest.
And all who inhabit it.
Sunset claimed proudly. Sunset
Go for it!
Celestia from responding at her own will at the closure of those words, not wanting to hear another word from the witch. The spell coursed through Celestia's body, and once Sunset had full control over Celestia's body, she didn't hesitate, forcing her once mentor to utter the words that would end all of the tyranny.
Go, say it.
Celestia couldn't fight it, and with only 2 words, the sadistic alabaster was put to rest.
You're going
Spare him!
You're going to die. What the fuck? That was a jump scare. She's fading away.
The matriarch fell limp on her throne. Sunset quickly followed up, not allowing any chances of Celestia's guards foiling her plan. She cast the spell yet again, only this time, she focused it on herself.
Woo!
Take hold of her.
Wow, that was loud, sorry.
Celestia had caused upon Equestria.
Was this a good ending or bad ending? Or a bit of both? Green light! I kind of did with that. Let's abracadabra.
The
Whew,
news
dear.
broke not long after, and Twilight was devastated. Even though she knew that Sunset had done Equestria a big favor in ridding it of a demented princess's rule. The case remained unsolved by the Canterlot Homicide Unit, seeing there was no evidence to go off of. It was closed as an unexplained death case, and remains unsolved to this day.
Oh yeah, it
Twilight
would be.
Grew up
It
to
would
be
be!
a major in magic, graduating with high honors, and now runs what used to be Celestia's school, which has long since been converted into a new school.
New school.
She visits Sunset.
Who is the ruler of the Equestria now then?
And still remembers Sunset as her teacher and best friend, just as Sunset had asked her to do so on that fateful day. As for the throne, Twilight's regular full-sitter and only alicorn in Equestria, Princess Cadence, took over as the Princess of Equestria.
Oh, I
In the
see!
Relationship, Twilight was enlisted as her protege, given Twilight being a major in magical knowledge.
Yeah, that's
to
good.
this day, remains the protege of Equestria's new and better leader.
Better leader,
While
yeah.
Cadence was converted into an alicorn by Celestia, she never knew of the former matriarch's true nature, and has proven herself
she
as a
wouldn't.
fit ruler. Celestia was buried under a statue dedicated in her honor of ruling Equestria, seeing no pony ever knew the real truth behind the facade of a kind and motherly princess. And Twilight never did tell any pony what Sunset had told her, seeing they would never believe her.
No, she wouldn't. No pony would believe you.
Of a matriarch that loved and respected her subjects equally, when in reality, behind all the smoke and mirrors, she was nothing more than a power-hungry witch that killed every pony who ever threatened to remove her from her place on the throne. Twilight knows the truth and keeps it to herself, knowing that her teacher and best friend she ever had still watches over her, and was proud to call herself a student and friend of the unicorn known as Sunset Shimmer. The one who she will always remember as the true savior of Equestria, at the cost of her own life. Something Twilight could accept and would never forget.
That's quite a sacrifice though, isn't it?
Continuing the legacy of Sunset Shimmer in honor of her sacrifice.
Oh dear. But was that good ending or the bad ending? It was technically like a bad end, isn't it? I like the music. Oh, that's. Well, that must be from the new editor with the credits. Oh dear. It's kind of good and bad at the same time, isn't it? Okay, that was I Do It. I thought this was... Is this technically the bad ending? Or is it technically the good ending? Because at first, when we started the story... Sorry, my boy. When we started the story, it seems like Sunset was playing along with Celestia's plan or vision to kill Twilight. I thought Twilight was done for. I thought Twilight was going to be killed. But no. She couldn't bear to do the spell on Twilight. It may be that Sunset see the potential in Twilight. And now Twilight sparkles on into the future.
Seriously?
Sorry, Abba Bloom. William, sorry. And also, the spell reminded me so much about Harry Potter. I thought it had to be Harry Potter again. But the way it was described, it would sound like the Abracadabra spell. Not as... No, she didn't sneeze there. Abracadabra! No, she didn't sneeze. Right. And also, controlling the mind, that is Aperio. She sounds... It was like dark, very dark magic. And stuff in Harry Potter like Abracadabra and Aperio, those are dark magic. That is dark magic. And the stuff at the end is like when Harry went face to face with Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest in the last book. and the last movie, Part 2. Well, Twilight didn't have a Horcrux inside of her, did she? No. And I thought, I did think as well, I think I mentioned it, that she's going to sacrifice her own life as well. She's going to kill Celestia. We knew that was going to happen. But she's going to sacrifice herself. So, in a way, it's a good and bad ending at the same time. Good, that Twilight lives. Bad, that Sunset has to die because of the actions. And it's like is it live or something? You got to keep it a secret. How do you keep? It's very hard to keep those sort of things a secret. Very hard indeed. Could you really keep a secret like what really happened? Because it's a hard job to. It would be a hard job to do. And Sunset didn't ride off into the sunset.
Seriously?
Sorry, everyone. Really am sorry. I would have chosen a different statue for Sunset though. She saved the day, but at the end of the day, didn't she? She saved the day. She saved all Equestria. And now Cadence is now the ruler of Equestria. That's some task for her. Flurry Heart wouldn't be in a thing, would it? And Twilight is now is Twilight like the headmistress or head mayor of the school. She got all that knowledge that she learned from Sunset, but she's with Twilight, she's naturally gifted as well in magic. Yes. Well, on that note, hope you like this reaction, normal reaction videos I do, and I'll see you next time. Oh, yes.
And I'll fly until the end of